The advice Venus Williams gave Alexandra Eala before her U.S. Open debut. Alexandra Eala and Venus Williams are set for a cross-generational doubles match at the ASB Classic. Eala will team with fellow rising star Eva Jovic, while Williams will begin a brand new partnership with Elina Svitolina at the New Zealand event. Both women will also play the singles event at the ASB Classic, with Eala set for a clash with Donna Vekic and Williams preparing for a match with Magda Linette. Williams and Eala have never crossed over on the WTA Tour before, but the American did offer up advice for the 20-year-old when she was about to make her U.S. Open debut. Venus Williams' advice for Alexandra Eala ahead of the 2025 U.S. Open. Speaking at her 2025 U.S. Open press conference, Williams was asked whether she had any advice for the rising Filipina star. Eala was set to make her U.S. Open debut against Clara Tauson, following a breakout performance at the Miami Open. The 20-year-old reached the semifinal of the Masters tournament after defeating Iga Swiatek, Madison Keys, and Yelena Ostapenko. Williams offered up the advice: just enjoy yourself. When you're having fun, things are easy. When you're not, it's not as much fun. You have to put the fun first. Eala would go on to win her maiden Grand Slam match, beating Tauson at Flushing Meadows in 3 sets. The rising star became the first Filipino player in the Open era to win a singles main draw match at a major, so the advice clearly worked. Alexandra Eala's 2026 schedule has been locked in. Eala has already locked in for a hectic January schedule following her first tournament of the year at the ASB Classic. After playing both singles and debuts in Auckland, the star will head to the Kooyong Classic in Melbourne between January 13th and 15th. The star will then compete in her very first Australian Open main draw, having fallen at the qualifying hurdle in the last 3 years. If the star does not make the second week of the first Grand Slam of the year, she will compete at the maiden Philippine Women's Open in Manila for the final week of January. When a legend speaks, Venus Williams' wisdom to Alexandra Eala before her U.S. Open debut. In sport, few moments are more electric than a young athlete's first step onto a Grand Slam stage, a blend of nerves, hope, ambition, and dreams long nurtured. It is a rite of passage, a collision between aspiration and reality under the bright lights and roaring crowds. For Filipino tennis prodigy Alexandra Eala, that crucible arrived at the 2025 U.S. Open, where she would make her main draw debut, a historic moment for herself and her country. Sohu. Yet, before that first save, in the shadows of Arthur Ashe Stadium and among the buzz of media, one legendary figure shared with her some simple but profound wisdom: just enjoy yourself. Those few words, spoken by Venus Williams, carried the weight of decades on tour, the echo of battles fought and lessons learned, a message far greater than its brevity suggests. Sohu +1. The scene: a rising star meets a timeless champion. Alexandra Eala, a 20-year-old with fire in her eyes and the Philippine flag stitched to her attire, had already carved her place in tennis lore long before stepping onto the U.S. Open courts. She was the first Filipino to win a junior Grand Slam singles title at the U.S. Open in 2022, and in 2025 she achieved history once more, becoming the first Filipino in the Open era to win a main draw Grand Slam match, stunning 14th seed Clara Tauson in a rollercoaster contest. Reuters. The stakes, however, were monumental. Behind the scenes, the pressures of expectation, national pride, and personal dreams converged. How does a young player balance all of that, the weight of history and the intensity of competition, without being swallowed by it? Enter Venus Williams, a living legend whose own journey began under similar pressures, albeit in different times. Venus walked courts that once seemed insurmountable, faced opponents with fire in their shots and weight on their shoulders, and carried dreams that stretched beyond herself. She knows what it feels like to step onto a big stage for the first time. She spoke candidly about her own nervousness when first emerging into Arthur Ashe Stadium. Yadbaka. Just enjoy yourself, a simple truth with a lifetime of value. At first glance, Venus's counsel, just enjoy yourself, might seem almost too simple. But wrapped in those words is a lifetime of experience, of understanding how the best performances come not from fear or pressure, but from presence, passion, and joy. In her own words, Venus emphasized that when an athlete is having fun, performance flows more naturally. She said, "When you're having fun, things are easy. When you're not, it's not as much fun. You have to put the fun first." Sohu. This advice is deceptively profound. In elite sports, The drive to excel often becomes entangled with fear. Fear of losing, fear of disappointing others, fear of history repeating its obstacles. Venus's message cuts through that noise. She directs attention not to fear or external pressure but to joy, the very reason one picks up a racket in the first place. For Eala, these words were more than motivation. They were a reminder of why she came to tennis. Because long before rankings and records, before historic wins and national ads, there was love, a love for the game itself.